So now that we've gave our scores and our playoff predictions for the divisional round, let's talk a little bit about the Bengals going into this week in Buffalo. Talk about some things that we saw last week and getting us prepared. So I think the thing on everyone's mind right now is the offensive line, and the offensive line is definitely scary. I know Buffalo has a good defense. Like I said before, we're not going to see the same team that we did against the Ravens because that was just something else. I think that we got lucky against the Ravens, and I think that was something that we might have needed to get out of the way. Glad that we won that game, but the offensive line is a bit scary against them. I think one thing that we need to do against Buffalo is open up the run. I know that we tried to do it in the second half of the Ravens game. It just didn't necessarily pan out. And the Ravens outplayed us. They outcoached us, in my opinion. I think at the end of the game, I know everyone's going to talk about how they went back to huddle and they didn't call a timeout, which it was dumb, and you can say that. But at the end of the game, or at the end of the day, Harbaugh kept us off the field. He kept his defense on the field. They were able to shut us down offensively. And, our defense did what they've done all year. But testament to them, they stood up in the red zone again against the Ravens. But we can't sit here and rely on a 99-yard fumble recovery on the goal line because Huntley throws the ball up and shit like that. So, I'm glad we pulled it out. I believe in us. It was a tough game that makes me believe that we are going to beat the Bills now. So I don't know. What were some of your takeaways from the games against the Ravens?
For me, I don't know. There was never a point in that game where I was like, the Bengals are going to lose this game. The entire time, I felt like the Bengals were still in control, regardless of what the score was. When their offense was on the field, their offense scored 17 points in 5 possessions. They weren't not doing anything. And at the end of the day, they gave up 17 points. Yeah. Any other week besides week 1 of the playoffs, you're going to say that's a good division win. So I never really, like I said, I never thought that it was ever really in question.
I think it definitely was because, we went and we got that fumble recovered. That was a 14-point swing. They were about ready to go up 24-17. And, at that point, Jonah was already out of the game. And I think we had 3 3-and-outs after that. We didn't do a fucking thing after that. So if we don't return that fumble for a touchdown, would we even be able to drive down and score? We might stop them, but they got the ball back and they damn near scored again on us. If they wouldn't have huddled up and called a timeout earlier, they might have scored to tie that game and send it to overtime.
There was still 12 minutes left when that 99-yard TD happened.
Right.
The Bengals didn't have to score because they knew the Ravens weren't going to. That was the closest that they were going to get. And to me, Joe was going to get 2 scores in 12 minutes because they just were.
But we
I trust Joe that much.
We did.
I'm saying at the end. At the end of the game, if it came down to that, I understand that, but you didn't need to score.
Exactly.
I was saying, we didn't show anything offensively, and we were continuing that. So we were staying very vanilla because we were in control of the game. Zach trusted the defense to keep the game where it was at, and didn't want to show anything late in the fourth quarter that Buffalo can see and the Chiefs can see further on down the road, in my opinion. But at the same time, you're trusting your defense to do the same thing they've done all year.
Do you agree with that, Jack? I kind of want to hear your opinion on that because I think doing that in a divisional game in the first round of the playoffs, so fucking hiding plays and stuff like that, I think that's stupid. I think that would be asinine for a coach to do that, especially against a team that was moving the ball well. They had the run. Dobbins was running all fucking over us, and then when we least expected it, they just fucking dump off a pass for fucking a couple yards. And fucking, are you guys still there?
Uh-oh. No. Look at his cute face.
Spilly has to insist that the Bengals should have lost this game. He has to.
We got lucky.
I get it, but I agree with you. I think we were in control. We were confident.
Yeah.
And I think need be, we would have figured out a way to score. I do get what he's saying, but if we would have lost, sure, anyone could make the argument wow, it was dumb to not, put our best foot forward. But our defense played great. Our offense had its moments. My biggest issue with this game was the mental lapses. We knew they were running it. We knew they were running outside power. At some point, we need to stick people on either blitzing to fill the outside who's covered. I coach kids. Obviously, it's a big difference, but you have to have contain. we lost contain so many times. I was like going to pull what little hair out I have left. I was like, come on, like someone just hit Dobbins. Someone put his dick in the dirt to let him know, like,
man,
you're going to have to.
There was a couple times where we got into the backfield or whatever. It's like, yes, we got him, and then all of a sudden he ran for fucking 10 yards. It was like
12 yards.
It's like, what are we doing? And we fixed that, and this is a testament to Anarumo and fucking doing this. He took Hendrickson out of the game and put Sample in, a bigger guy who could get back there and do that. But at that point, we had no one who could drop back to coverage on the edge.
Right.
And then they dump it off and they make big plays through the air.
The thing about it is, the Ravens have the biggest O-line left in the playoff field. Yeah. We're not going to face another O-line who plays like them with their size. They were literally pulling power and taking a guard and tackle to lead block almost every play. And you can't – when you're a linebacker who's 2/3 their size, you're going to get smoked. And that's what kept happening. They were getting us in space and blocking smaller people. It's hard to overcome that because we do not have the size to match up with the Ravens. We simply do not. But – we won't face another team like that in the playoffs. Exactly. The Bills are not nearly built to do that.
Every team is built to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, period. Literally. Like, that's it. So the Bills got a running game, but it's not like that. If we can keep, for example, we keep Allen in the pocket and stifle Singletary and force him one-dimensional, same way the Dolphins did.
Make Dalton Knox really beat you, bro. Make Knox beat you. Make Knox beat you.
Exactly. Knox and Diggs. That's it.
Yeah.
And honestly, outside of
and Diggs will drop. Diggs will drop balls.
Diggs will drop. I think outside. I mean, it could be argued that the Chiefs are the same way. I don't think there's a better passing offense than us in the league when we're clicking. Absolutely not. Like, there's just not. We're the only team that can pass from start to finish and maybe run the ball 5 to 10 times and still hang 35.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. It's hard to say that when Mahomes is having the year that he is having, but I mean, at the end of the day, like. They were even saying it during the game. They were like, the fucking Collinsworth that was actually saying it. He's like, this is the best receiving core in the entire league. And it's really not even close. Fucking Higgins, Chase, Higgins, and fucking Boyd mixed with fucking Hurst as a tight end. And then you can even dump off to fucking P. Ryan or Mixon. Like, it's absolutely unstoppable. And, even having the line, we know that we can get that ball out quick. Joe Burrow's the fastest guy in the league at getting the ball out. That's something that we know is successful and can be successful against the Bills. So, like, that's why I'm not as scared as the Bills as I am with the Ravens were, or as I was with the Ravens.
It's way better matchup-wise for us moving forward. Like, every game that we have is a better matchup for us than the Ravens. Yeah. Like, I think the Bengals are going to come out, and it's going to be a lot of shotgun, a lot of quick passes. Just make sure Joe has as much time as humanly possible and quick routes. I don't think there's going to be a lot of long developing routes. I think you're going to get a deep shot maybe first drive of the game, and then you might get a deep shot late in the third or fourth quarter.
I think
it's all going to be set up plays, and then you take your home run when you see a matchup you like.
I think the key to getting those fucking long balls and sneaking those in there is to open up the run game.
Yeah.
And like you were saying in the group chat before, Mixon is great. He's done a lot for the Bengals, but I think P. Ryan needs to be the one, man. Fucking, you said fucking he plays more playoff style football, that more in your face, run through you style fucking football. And
I'm getting 2 yards no matter what.
Yeah.
I'll go through you and I'll fall forward. I'm not dancing left and right.
And that's what we need to do. That's what the Ravens did to us so well last week. They fucking built on fucking those 3-4 yard gains. If you get 3 or 4 yards every single down, you get fucking first down on third down, and you control the clock. And that's something that we could take Allen out of his element by doing that, slowing the game down, not giving him time to fucking throw those long balls and do what he usually does. I think that we match up pretty well against Buffalo actually this week.
Yeah. And to be honest, like going back to last week, like I think Harbaugh kind of outcoached himself. Like obviously he outcoached himself with the QB sneak on the 3 yard line. Like you weren't close enough.
Should have given it to Dobbins.
But the thing is, Dobbins only had 16. Dobbins only had 16 touches.
Yeah.
Dobbins should have had 25 touches. There was no reason for Dobbins to not have 25 touches.
Yeah.
Does anybody know his weight? Because he's a big back.
Here's the thing. I think the reason why he didn't get as much is because they kind of were running like an option style offense because they just don't have the receiving. And I'll give you this. I almost gave, even though they lost, I almost gave Huntley the MVP too because Huntley being his first playoff game ever playing against the Bengals, he had a spectacular game in my opinion.
Yeah.
And by the way, he played better. His statistics last night Sunday night were better than the 1917 win that Lamar Jackson had.
Yeah, and I don't think that Lamar Jackson would have played a better game than him. Maybe on the first drive. It would have been
about the same.
Maybe on the first drive, but fucking coming off an injury, I don't think that Lamar was going to do much better than Huntley did. So that dude's got probably a good-looking career ahead of him with the Ravens, to be honest. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think Lamar's got a higher ceiling, but Huntley doesn't look bad.
No.
I mean, he almost won him the game. I mean, he really didn't make many mistakes outside of trying to go over the line, and I get why he did that.
And I get why he did it too. Hindsight's 20/20, but fucking you say that it's not a bad play, but like, what else was he going to do? You should have given it to Dobbins. Right. That's what you should have fucking done. Yeah, and
or that human wrecking ball tight end, Mike Allstott's little brother that plays for him. I'm like, what is that guy? Yeah. Give him the ball on the 3-yard line and let him run through 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, and I get why Dobbins was pissed too, but like, dude, that play lasts for a fucking millisecond longer. They break the play and score a touchdown there. Game's over.
For sure.
Bengals made a play. Straight up, they made a play.
Yeah, they did make a play. And I don't take that away. Like you said, Wilson fucking was, I don't know if we mentioned this in the podcast, Wilson was our MVP for that game, bro. Fucking, he made a hell of a play batting that ball to fucking Hubbard.
Well, look, I was looking at the frame by frame for that play, and just like
it might have been Pratt,
but like DJ Reader literally took on 3 blockers and
he's got his arm around.
Huntley. But he doesn't do that. They walk into the end zone,
and I don't know if you guys.
Our defense was like, "This is it. Like this is the game." And everyone.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
It was like the 4th quarter. It was late in the game. There was a run to the left. It was like Dobbins got the ball kind of out wide, and he definitely had a hole there. And DJ Reader he couldn't get off his block, pushing his guy towards where the hole is. Knew he couldn't get off that block, and literally just bench pressed his guy straight into the hole, knocks over J.K. Dobbins. And I was like, what is this human being that we call DJ Reader?
Yeah.
Bench pressing humans out of his way, just knocking other ones over.
He's
like, what?
He's a fucking monster, man. I mean, he's probably been our most consistent defensive player this entire season. I would argue that Apple might be up there too. He got burned this game. I've liked Apple this year. If you look at some of his statistics, dude, he's been really good. This game he got burned, but at the same time, what are you supposed to do? Because the Ravens weren't passing. And when they
shows, the thing is, when Apple shows up, it's never a good show up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know he's there until you know he's there, and it's never because he picked a ball off or swatted something. It's always because he got burnt and the pass went incomplete,
and that's why everyone hates him. But fucking at the end of the day, he's had more. I think that I saw someone send me, it was called the Book of Eli, a meme or something, that like this regular season he's had like 11 games with under 30 yards received. And some of them he had none at all. So like he's had a pretty good season. He's put together a very, very good season, and people need to get off his dick. I mean, they were talking in this group chat that I have. They're like, some chick made a joke. She's like, just make sure that we don't put Apple on Diggs. I was like, who the fuck else are you going to put on Diggs?
Yeah,
Taylor Britt. Fucking get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Yeah. No.
Well, a lot of that, too, you have to take into consideration with the fact that we're starting a rookie. We've also got Dax Hill, who's a rookie ever since
Dax Hill chose the wrong sequence to choose.
He fucked us a couple times, too.
He's also playing out of position. Like, I don't give a lot of credence to that.
Hard to be a gunner.
But the way I look at it is Eli Apple is clearly our best coverage person. Mm-hmm. So, of course, teams are going to game plan to not throw his way.
Exactly.
They're going to pick on the other people. So that's a lot of the reason why his stats are there. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I wouldn't consider him a top 20 cornerback in the league, in my opinion.
See, I think our most important player in the secondary is Mike Hilton. And
him or Von Bell.
Literally,
makes some huge plays.
Like when Lou in the 4th quarter started finally sending Mike Hilton on blitzes. And he's been doing it all season, dude. Mm-hmm. Mike Hilton literally came out and said that it was on a Pat McAfee show. Lou Anarumo said that Mike Hilton begs him to run blitzes all the time. Yeah. Because he's so good at sniffing out the run, dude. Yeah. Like, he does it all the time. Like, to me, he's like one of those guys that he's so versatile. You can literally use him as an extra defensive end. And we have a good defensive end on that side, and he's coming off a Hubbard side. and Hubbard can take his guy upfield, and Hilton can just sneak in right behind where that block just was, and it's money so often.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We've got a bunch of studs on defense. I was just bringing up the most consistent or whatever. I kind of wanted to bring up that Diggs comment. That's why I brought up fucking Apple. But yeah, well, we've got a hell of a defense. Our offense needs to play a little bit better than they did against the Ravens, but I think a lot of that had to be with them just not being on the field as much as they could. The O-line's a little bit scary, but I like our chances against the Bills, man. Do we have any closing comments again about the Bengals as Jack just walks out of the fucking room?
Overall, like I'm cautiously optimistic about the Bengals. I like the matchups that we have moving forward. Obviously, like I don't want to see San Francisco unless we get some linemen back. I'm not going to say, like, right now, based off of what I've seen, I'm cool with playing San Francisco. I think we can match up with them. I just haven't seen the Eagles play yet to where I want to say that I want to see the Eagles. That's my only thing. Because I got to see Jalen play. I got to see what he actually looks like.
Right. I'm with you, Keith. They're the best ones left in the field. They're the best competition. I just think it's more likely than not. I don't think the Giants can make it. I don't think the Cowboys are consistent enough.
Oh yeah, no.
The Eagles could make it, but the Eagles aren't roster wise. The Eagles are phenomenal too. Yeah. They're fucking stacked.
Yeah,
defense is incredibly good. They have the best two cornerback tandem in the league.
That's cool. And I know that out of the teams remaining in the NFC side of things, I'm not really stoked about any team in the NFC. The San Francisco and Eagles are probably everyone's favorite, but both of them have very weak strengths of schedules, and fucking the NFC is clearly the worst of the two conferences. But San Francisco's defense is like, I've watched them play a couple times, and they're just fucking scary. They're someone you don't want to run into.
They also gave up, but they also almost lost to Oakland Raiders. Like, it's weird because, like, if based off of what we saw Monday night, like, the Cowboys can beat them. Yeah. Like, straight up. But
no, they can't. Cowboys aren't even in this round. What are you talking about? They lost to the Bucs.
The thing is, it's like, I just think a rookie's due to lose at some point in this first season. There's no way.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would like about that matchup is, you know, Burrow's been to the big dance before. A lot of our players have been to the big dance already, and it's definitely an advantage. And, you know, we also have a little bit of a grudge match if we do end up matching up against the San Francisco 49ers because they beat us twice. So we can't go 0-3.
That's just our parents.
And Bryce Purdy, hey, he's no Joe Montana or Steve Young, baby.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
Debo might be Jerry Rice, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Debo's pretty fucking close.
He's definitely more of a freakish athlete.
No, you just give him the ball in space, and he's there, Jamar Chase, where, like I was saying, you give him a quick slant and just let him make a guy miss, and 76 yards later, he's in a touchdown. He's in the end zone.
Yeah.
The thing about their offense that is so dangerous, outside of the fact that Kyle Shanahan is incredible at finding ways to give his people the ball in space, is like, okay, say you focus Debo. They're going to run it 20 times with McCaffrey, and he's going to put up 120 yards. And then if we find a way to take away their run, they've got George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. Like, they're so loaded on talent, but this is why I'm confident. I think Anarumo absolutely has the talent on defense, and even if they come out and put up 21 in the first half, we will slow them down in the second half, and we can score points. So it's one of those things, baby. We're just going to have to see what happens. We have to roll these dice and keep playing well.
Yeah, like if we were to play the Niners, I think Lou comes out in a straight-up man defense and makes Brock have to make throws or makes his receivers have to be wide open to get him the ball. Like, I don't see him coming out in the zone and just dinking and dunking. Like, I think he takes away the run 100%.
Yeah,
like, I think right away you take away the run, you make Purdy beat you. Yeah. You do not let Debo and Christian beat you out of the backfield.
Yeah,
no,
you take your chances elsewhere.
I mean, things changed throughout the playoffs. I had the Bengals losing to the Bills in this round, but now I've changed my mind on that, and I've got the Bengals going. So, you know, we've got 2 more games to worry about before we even have to fucking meet up with them. So we
went unanimous, didn't we? Didn't we all pick the same teams all 4 games?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I think so.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Did anyone pick the Cowboys?
No.
Picking the fucking Cowboys.
Thank you.
I should have picked them last week, but fuck, whatever.
Okay.
I came
close to going with the Giants, but either way, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're all on the same page when it comes to our picks, but we gotta start wrapping this one up. Do you guys have any closing comments about the Bengals?
Who Day, baby.
Who Day, baby. We'll see you Sunday. They gotta play us. This has been episode 3 of Your House Our Rules Sportscast. Peace, bitches.